Well, on a day when Delhi continues to be engulfed by protests on the gang rape issue, on a day when the Delhi High Court has promised that 5 fast-track courts will be set up once they come back from recess in the new year, we're joined by Law Minister Ashwini Kumar on what other steps the government is thinking of taking as far as safety for women is concerned and as far as the law is concerned. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, thank you for joining us on NDTV this evening. Let me first ask you about what the Home Minister said the other day. He said that, and he has hinted that, the punishment for rape is going to be enhanced. He said specifically that there will be more effective punishment in the rarest of rare cases. Is that a hint at the death penalty?
Well, I don't know what eventually will come out of the deliberations of the commission that we have set up. You would have read that we have set up a 3-member commission comprising of the former Chief Justice of India, Justice J.S. Verma, and also former Chief Justice of the Himachal High Court, Justice Leela Seth, and one eminent lawyer. The entire purpose of this exercise is to dispassionately consider what is required to be done to make the promise of safety of our women a reality. It is absolutely true that there have been gaps in the enforcement of the law, there have been gaps in the prosecutorial processes which need to be addressed. How best they will be addressed, I think, is being left to the recommendations of this committee. I would like to add, however, that already in the statute, rape is punishable by life imprisonment, which by all accounts is a very harsh punishment. Some people say it is even more difficult than death penalty because you suffer a feeling of death every day inside a prison room. But it would be left to the wisdom of this committee to recommend in its wisdom what they think they should. Whether capital punishment would be enough of a deterrent or not is something that has to be gone into. I saw an article in the Economic Times today.
I want to ask you about that, and I'm interrupting you on that because it's an interesting point you've raised. Indira Jaising has just spoken to one of my colleagues in NDTV. She's the Additional Solicitor General, and she's actually said she doesn't think that the death penalty is a good idea, that it may actually encourage rapists to kill their victims, and we need to think about this dispassionately. I know that personally you're against the death penalty, so do you think that a lot of the reactions today to this and this clamor for the death penalty is an emotional reaction? Is this something we need to step back and think about more carefully?
All I will say is that lawmaking is an exercise that demands rational discourse in an atmosphere conducive to a rational debate. We have a series of articles in the last 3 days. One in the morning today in the Economic Times, which has made out a case saying that perhaps death penalty might prompt the culprits to murder and kill their victims of rape. Now, I am not going to say that I have the last word on it, but clearly there are two views in the society. There are two views amongst jurists, there are two views amongst political philosophers on this. Yet, we need to move forward. We need not give alibis anymore. The people of India are entitled to expect that the lawmakers will together sit and find a solution to a problem that has shaken the conscience of this country.
But you personally feel, as law minister, as an eminent lawyer yourself, that death penalty may not necessarily be the solution? Do you agree with Indira Jaising's assessment?
Look, I'm not going to give any personal views because I'm being interviewed as the law minister of this country. Whatever may be my personal views are entirely irrelevant.
But you have your reservations.
Whatever, well, it's not, I mean, I'm open to persuasion either way. I sit with a clear mind. We have constituted this commission. Let this commission do its work and come up with its recommendations, and we'll see what case has been made out for what they have suggested.
How much time does the commission have to give its report?
I think we've given them, if I'm not mistaken, 30 days.
So that's pretty quick.
That's
30 days.
Pretty quick. It's pretty quick. And I would also like to tell you that we have constituted another commission headed by another judge, a former judge of the Delhi High Court, very experienced, very eminent, to inquire into this particular incident, and the lessons of this inquiry would be helpful for us in addressing the gaps in the law enforcement or bringing to justice people who are guilty of such crimes, or even in the investigative processes. And I think this will also be a time-bound inquiry. The idea is, the message today that the government has sent out, which is loud and clear, that India and the government will no longer tolerate the violation of its women.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.